Yo, Jamaicans are the best, and nobody can tell me otherwise. This hero is an undocumented Jamaican. And even though he was undocumented, living in the United States, he was working as a reserve police officer, as a reserve cop in Maine. What Maine there? Boston, right? Let me say this. If the story are true, which I think it is.
So, a Jamaican police officer patrolling a male beach town was secretly undocumented. He was working as a reserve cop until I swapped in. What triggered the alarm? Who dropped the ball? And most importantly, how does someone wearing a badge fall off the system's radar? Stick around, the answers are coming up next.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement is accusing this police department, Old Orchard Beach in Maine, of hiring an undocumented immigrant. They arrested John Luke Evans last Friday in the neighboring town after they say Evans tried to purchase a firearm illegally. The ATF was flagged and informed ICE of this incident, and that's when they picked up Evans. Now, the town of Old Orchard Beach says that it is not allowed for reserve officers to buy a weapon. They are issued a gun as part of their employment, but they can only use it while on the job. But bigger picture here, ICE is making these claims while the department says that it was its parent company, the Department of Homeland Security, the one that approved Evans's work visa in the first place. They say that they got that approval from DHS back in May and that it's valid until 2030. I asked Homeland Security and ICE about these claims by the police department that it was them who dropped the ball. They would not answer those questions.
John Luke Evans, who was serving as a reserve officer in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, was taken into custody on Friday in the town of Biddeford. ICE claims Evans was in the country illegally and had overstayed his visa after entering through Miami International Airport on September 24, 2023. He was due to leave on October 1, but reportedly failed to do so. ICE says his immigration status came to light after Evans attempted to purchase a firearm for his police duties. The agency has criticized the Old Orchard Police Department for allegedly hiring someone not legally authorized to work. However, the Old Orchard Beach police are pushing back. They say Evans was cleared by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and was hired in May 2025 for summer duty after passing all required background and medical checks.
Now, ICE says here that because he overstayed his visa, he is subject to deportation. On the other hand, you have the police department saying that he presented a valid work permit that was verified by the federal government. I spoke with an immigration attorney who says that both things can be true at the same time, making it very difficult for employers to know if they're doing something wrong.
We believe we did everything we were supposed to do.
The police chief of Old Orchard Beach in Maine is standing by her assertion that she and the town did nothing wrong when hiring Reserve Officer John Luke Evans in May. Evans is a Jamaican national who was detained by ICE last Friday after the agency was notified that he was trying to purchase a gun. The chief says although it's legal for documented immigrants to buy and possess a gun, ICE blasted the police department for arming Evans, who they say overstayed his visa in 2023.
We would never give somebody who is not vetted and not approved. We wouldn't, first of all, hire them, and second of all, we would never give them a firearm.
The town says Homeland Security's E-Verify system processed Evans' driver's license, passport, birth certificate, social security, and a government-issued I-766 work authorization card valid for 5 more years.
For an employer, it's a minefield because everything is going to look completely 100% normal and legal.
Matthew Mayona is an employer-based immigration attorney with no ties to the case. He says it's possible to both overstay a visa and obtain a legal work permit.
If we say I come on a tourist visa and I overstay my tourist visa, if I meet one of these conditions where I file for asylum or I file through a family member, I would still be eligible for those documents and they would still be valid.
ICE stood by the E-Verify system and blamed the police department for not doing more to verify the authenticity of Evans's documents. It also said that using E-Verify doesn't absolve them of their failure to conduct basic background checks. The town manager says a state and federal background check was done.
What good is the system and what are we to use?
Listen up, because this story isn't just wild, it's flat out unbelievable. Imagine this, a Jamaican reserve police officer gets hired, cleared through federal E-Verify, told he's good to work until 2030, only to be arrested by ICE. Yes, you heard that right. What follows is a jaw-dropping tale of system failures, mixed signals, and local heartbreak in a tiny Maine resort town. Meet John Luke Evans, a Jamaican national working seasonally as a reserve cop for the Old Orchard Beach Police Department in Maine. He entered the US legally in September 2023 but failed to board his departing flight the following month, technically overstaying his visa. So, here's the bombshell. In May 2025, the Department of Homeland Security, via the E-Verify system, cleared Evans to work through 2030 after submitting his I-9 and other documents. His hiring followed protocols, background checks, physical exam, training, then the works. And so, what we see here is that, so what went sideways? Evans tried to purchase a firearm for police duty. That alone triggered a red flag with the ATF, which alerted ICE. Agents swooped in and arrested him in Bindeford, Maine on July 25th, 2025. Now, we've got a clash. ICE points the department as knowingly breaking the law by hiring someone out of status, armed with a gun. Meanwhile, the police chief, Ellis Chard, says they followed the rules and trusted the federal green light. She's heartbroken. The department feels betrayed, and she said she learned of Evans' arrest through a press release, not directly from ICE. So, colleagues describe Evans as a respected, valued officer. Now the department's morale is shaken midsummer, at the height of tourist season. And so what we really see is that this isn't just one person's nightmare. It lays bare a systemic failure, because E-Verify may approve someone to work legally, but might not catch visa overstays. Now local and federal authorities are at odds, and calls are mounting for a deep review of verification systems, hiring policies, and communication protocols. Yeah, so an Interpol probe is underway in the department, alongside calls for a federal review. And Evans's legal status remains uncertain. Does he get legal defense? Can the town recover from this embarrassment? And will reforms follow to prevent such a mix-up from happening again? Yeah. So, what's your thought on this? Ask yourself, how safe is green lighted really? This case shines a harsh light on how our systems meant to safeguard society may break down, and how even those in blue can fall through the cracks. Stick around as we follow the outcome of this case, because the fallout could change the game for the law enforcement hiring nationwide.